Thank you for listening to this episode of Berated B-Rated Conversations. This week we talked to the guys from Sweetmeats. We talked to Ricky Glore, director, writer, producer, and created the music for the movie. We also talked to Nick Hiance, the cinematographer, and talked to Nick Graystone from the band DemonScar, who is also featured in the movie. This is the story of Bobby Sweet, a country music legend with the world-renowned face of Sweetmeats since opening the restaurant with his wife. The secret ingredient is the real interesting part of this story. This is an amazing horror comedy musical, and you should definitely check it out when it comes out. Thank you.
Lights, camera, action. Let's dive in deep. Talking directors, actors, the secrets they keep. From behind the scenes to the silver screen. Hard-hitting questions, nothing in between. Rated B, rated the podcast sensation. Unveiling truth, sparking conversations. Where every story gets its chance to shine. Rated B, rated, let's rewind.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you for being here. We're here with. Sorry. Before I do that, who all is here?
Nope, we're just going with it. We're not editing it.
Are we just gonna go with it? Everybody just announce themselves, I guess. Yeah.
Hi, I am Ricky Glore, writer, director, actor, producer of Sweetmeats. I play Bobby Sweet. I am one of the co-founders of NKY Films. And this sexy manservant to my right.
I'm Nick Graystone. I'm from the band DemonScar. We are in the film. We also have a song in the film, and I'm an executive producer.
Yeah,
an executive producer.
I think you whipped out that big hog and got that all in there.
Suck it.
He's also the muscle for Ricky, so yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what it looks like. That he's just like, look, we're gonna have a clean
answer
fight,
that
right,
question.
boys? Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Glore, don't answer that.
Just reply, no comment.
And last, Nick Hiance. I shot the damn film, and also
Well shot film.
Yeah, thank you. Shit, there we go.
Shit.
Hey, I might have talked over that a little bit. I would just pull that audio. I need a clean section of your audio.
Good.
Well shot.
I can rebalance all of this.
Thank you.
We have 4 separate audio tracks.
Dude, I swallowed the...
Yeah, no, this movie, it's been on my radar for a little bit because I saw the things on Instagram for it and was like, seems interesting. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I know I like it. And then when you reached out to do podcasts, I was like, I want to know more. So, I'm glad we watched it.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, the flattery will get you everywhere. What do you want to know? What dirt on anything? We'll make up something. It is I love looking at any press that comes out about our tiny $22,000 movie. There is some I don't do Reddit, but someone's like, hey, there's a subreddit post discussing your trailer and it being Troma and oh wow, they're really they're doing a lot of tropes of just okay, it's another restaurant that has pig masks and it's a cannibal film, and it's a musical, and there was a subreddit discussing the merits of the artistic integrity of this dumb trope that we did.
Hey, are you
$22,000 movie?
Are you just reading my subreddit post?
Yeah. Are you at Crooked Focus?
That might be me. Just I was commenting on the
But so that's just a nice. That's a long way of saying thank you for it even coming across your eyeballs, and then thinking that there was anything about it that looked interesting. That is a boon to me, and I know all involved are just super excited and just really anxious to see people see this for the first time at the premiere, which we have coming up this Saturday. It's gonna be the first time that, like, we've heard people say that they've watched it on their own and they've laughed. That blows my mind. I'm like, okay, if they're laughing on their own, maybe in a packed house of people, like, maybe that just becomes an outward thing, and this could possibly become like a midnight movie down the line, some weird kind of cult movie.
I could definitely see that. I mean, there were moments in this movie where I was laughing out loud. I'll say that. Like, I think a lot of like Jerry's like physical bits, like doesn't know how to open a banana and keeps walking into walls. It's like, it's something so stupid and simple, but I was like, that is kind of the sweet spot for the comedy in this movie, is people being unself-aware about their lack of self-awareness.
Yeah, and I don't think there is any like heavy bullying. I mean, like, not that it matters, but like there's so many things that are set in the, I think, 70s or early 80s nowadays that do deal with like talking down or judging somebody. And it's just like, well, bullying was more acceptable. We can get away with some really heinous shit. Like, what's the Black Phone? That was a movie. I'm like, I think this is purely set at this time because they were just like, kids were like really violent towards one another and like with their speech and their physicality. With Sweetmeats, what I like is Timmy being able to pull off the ridiculous like silent movie physical humor while also being an incredible like Harpo Marx, super like sincere and emotional character that you just, I think, love, because like he doesn't dislike his sister and he loves Bobby, but he doesn't know that to both of them, he's their last like thread at their humanity. Like, I hate to talk about it like it's such a grandiose like things, but like I think that's, besides Timmy being really good at being a comedian and making things work for a reason that work for the character, not just for fun, like just for a gag or to get screen time. I think that just ended up being something that fell into our lap as we were putting it together, whether it was Timmy or it was Eileen or Andrew coming in, or even DemonScar at the end of the movie. Like, that turned into a weird like Scooby-Doo like music video, just this like crazy
Badass music video. It was really good.
I love it. It's definitely the best music video that we'll ever have. It looks great. I thought the effect came out really good in it, and the song, how it came about, it kind of fell in our laps too. You know, like just, it was just perfect. It's a perfect time to reach out and try to become a part of this movie, and I'm really blessed that I came across Ricky in this. And it's not your typical Troma flick either. I feel like it's got a little bit of everything for everyone.
Don't scare away the Troma fans. Like,
no.
We need them. We need them to think that this is like, there's there's probably a lot of boobs and stuff that I'm going to be seeing.
Unless you read Joe Bob Briggs's review.
Yeah.
Minus.
That's the one bad thing is Joe Bob. The Joe Bob review from Ben Nagy was like half star off for not having boobs. I'm like, don't tell anybody. like they need to find that out on their own and then figure out how upset they are about it.
Like, wait a second.
Yeah, I do feel like the strength of it not being a kind of like dyed-in-the-wool Troma film is kind of like, you know how you like, what is it? I sat down with my wife and my son and we watched like Ginger Dead Man and Ginger Dead Man, like the second one and the third one, and it's like, after you watch the first one, they go into the like the full moon isms.
Yeah.
And like the novelty is worn off and you're just watching the dumpster fire get bigger at that point, basically. Like, and this is bringing in stuff like this. I kind of feel like we get more of you than we get more of Troma, which I like.
Yes. Thank you. I mean, I think that was a conscious effort when we finally made the deal. I mean, Nick and I made the deal via a phone call. I was doing a show in North Carolina or something, and I remember I was in a parking lot of some bar, and I was just like, hey, I think everything that they're offering of what they would do to come on board, like getting some eyes and like some people seeing it, which we didn't have with our first film. That was the hardest thing and the most expensive thing was submitting it to festivals. I was like, I think we should go with Troma, and we ultimately agreed. And the deal we ended up making, we were happy with. But after we made the deal, or it was right before or after, Nick sent me a slew of like every couple of days from what is it, Vimeo? Is that the file? A different Troma movie trailer throughout their decades of like one was called like Rowdy Cowgirls with Shannon Tweed, where it was just like Bush and 80s like fake boobs like out like crazy in the trailer, but it was set in the Wild West. And Nick's texts were, are you sure we want to go with Troma with our very talky Macbeth like absurd like dirt comedy that is not very much horror, which is not very much like musical, it's more like weird like documentary style comedy. And it
was less about like what Troma was and what we are. It's like, we haven't filmed a frame of this, and they're like, we'll go ahead, we'll come on board. And I was like, I almost wanted to be like, wait, like let's film it first and then we'll show you guys. Like, I don't know if this is going to be in your wheelhouse. So I'm glad it turned out the way it did, though, because I think there's just enough of like being around Troma over the last year and a half. I think there's enough in there that some of those Troma heads will enjoy the film. But I think that we also kind of got to do our thing also. So maybe a perfect marriage.
And it was right before, just a shout out to Garrett Sullivan, who's an associate producer on the film. He was Lloyd's assistant at the time, and more time that I spent with him talking with him before he left Troma, as all Lloyd's assistants do. You know, there's a fine window where you are Lloyd's assistant and you get to learn a lot of good things, but you kind of have to move on. So Garrett, at the end of the day, I think was one of the main proponents of who read the script, and I think actually took it to Lloyd and was just like, hey, I think this is something that might be interesting that Troma does. And so big kudos to him, and also kudos to Lloyd for being so incredibly hands-off during the whole entire process. Like, when he was asked for different notes, like for the trailer, we didn't have a performance of the musical, like any musical performances of people singing. And he was just like, hey, one note. He's like, trailer looks great. He's like, maybe if you add just a small part of people singing, since you're saying it's a musical. He's like, that might be a good idea. Like, but wasn't like, this is what you need to do. He was just like, here's a really good note. But you know, it's your film. Like, do what you want if that's what you don't want to do. And we were just like, oh, he's absolutely right. We're fools. And like, just that note re-edited kind of the trailer to be what it was. And I was just like, yes, this is what it should be. This weird, like, drive-in kind of movie. It's like, hey, kids and families, like, you want a night out at the movies? Well, mama wants romance and papa wants action. Like, it's like that. It's like, this movie is a blender. Like, it's not good, but it does a little bit of a lot of things. That's what I felt like the trailer then ended up becoming, which I think is a good representation of the ultimate movie that you get.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if so, I was just like, Anthony really is like, hey, we're gonna do this, watch this movie and go with it. So like, we always just what do you call it? Like, every movie that we watch is like a genuine reaction to them, you know? So like, I didn't even see the trailer, but Anthony's like, hey, we're gonna talk to these guys. So I was like, all right. So I had no idea it was a musical, but I typically, like, we usually kind of try to make fun of musicals, but this movie was awesome, man. Like, there was no part in the movie that I was like, God damn it, another song's coming up. No, it was, everything about it was awesome. Like, we were talking earlier about the people that are, you know, were trying to write stuff. And one of our things that, you know, Anthony and I have said a couple times is there's always those trolls that are like, oh, this movie, it's like, but then you watched it. If you know you're not going to like it, why would you watch that movie in the first place? Mm-hmm. You know? And so like, my biggest thing was like, Well, I think Matilda, that little kids show, I was like, that's a musical. I know it's a musical. I'm not going to watch it. But now it's trying to, make me rethink it. Like, you know what? Because of freaking Bobby.
I'm glad Sweetmeats could broaden your your sexual awakening. Just like, you know what? Maybe I am a little bi-curious.
Maybe I've been wrong all these years.
We're not a clue enough.
You see?
I've been practicing in that boy band for so long.
It's reaching out, man. It's getting a bigger audience than you, like I said.
No,
I was like,
so part of that is growing up on where stuff kind of comes from is the soundtrack to Sweetmeats. We use the Buffalo, so we use some songs and different things we had produced for a different short film, different script we had written, a couple things here and there that never came to fruition. We kind of used to beefing up, no pun intended, the music of Sweetmeats, but then all of those songs were kind of based around my love of Smokey and the Bandit 2 soundtrack, Any Which Way You Can, Every Which Way But Loose. This really specific time of 78 to 82 in pop rock country music. And
just for the hell of it.
and so, even the Fall Guy theme, all of that stuff. And the reason is I like musicals, but I always find it funny. My dad, who introduced me to all these movies and that kind of film and stuff and exploitation films, he was just I hate musicals. And I'm like, oh man, what are you talking about? All of your favorite movies are just needle drops. And they are musicals. It's just, or they even cut to people Any Which Way You Can or Every Which Way But Loose. There's the Palomino Club where you see performances like a Brian De Palma's Phantom of the Paradise. It's a performance. They don't break out into song. So that's a big part of why this movie is what it is. I was just what would be the most fucked up way to make my dad enjoy a musical? Because it's not really a musical. And so that's why the idea of the audience being chained up, having to listen to Bobby rehearse is that, because it's just hey, Dad, you can't say you don't like musicals. You love the Monkees movie Head, which is 100% a musical.
How many songs did Sandra Locke sing in?
Oh, at least 3 on the first album and 2 on the second. Right? One was a Neil Diamond written song.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, love those albums.
So all those songs are real.
Yeah, they are 100%. The one "Eat the People" was co-written by myself and Nick. If you're able to get the Indiegogo special edition Blu-ray, there's "Evolution of a Song," which shows that sometimes I would sing a cappella into my phone and then send it to somebody and be like, what do you think this is? I was like, I think this is a heavy metal song. And so he got maybe be Dokken or something. It got to Nick. And
that's how, I got involved. I saw that this movie was, being made. I reached out to Ricky, who was get killed on screen. And I'm like, well, do you need any music? And he goes, well, I do have this one song where I sing a cappella. It's called Eat the People. And I'm looking for a Dokken, 80s, metal kind of thing. So I hit up my guitarist, and he had written a 3-chord, 2.5-minute song for new software, and he had it in his back pocket for a year or so. He's like, try this out with it, and he played it for me, and I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, it's not Dokken, but it's kind of like Glore meets green jelly, so I'm gonna go with that. And that's where it turned into. I took Ricky's lyrics, I edited it a little bit, shifted shit around, and it just worked. And we recorded it within a couple of hours, and I sent it back to him, and he was like, whoa, fucking DemonScar means business. And I'm like, yeah, dude, let's go. I'm ready. So, yeah, that was it. From there, then we play this place in Lancaster, Pennsylvania called Jason's Woods once a year. And Ricky's like, can you get to Kentucky? And I'm like, well, can you get to Lancaster? If you can get to Lancaster, I'll put you guys up. We'll have this great backdrop for us to film the scene of us getting killed. Yeah. And we could play the song. And then that was it. So they came down. It was pretty awesome.
The whole expenses of that to us was $800. in the grand scheme of $22,000 to get production value that Lancaster, Jason's Woods was just like, we're like, can we do this? Like, can we have carte blanche while it's not open? And they're like, yeah, like, go right ahead. Just please credit us. And we're like, happily.
So shout out to Leanne Hershey from Jason's Woods.
And then she was like, and then when you guys are done with that, she's like, do you guys want the VIP passes to go through the haunts here? And so we were just like, sorry, Nick is very upset because Nick didn't get to make that trip. It was producer Chris Morris and Mike Flincham who went on that.
And I almost lost my eye during filming of this. So they crank out this air thing. It's like an air compressor.
Yeah.
And the blood gag that they did before, it kind of like, I don't know, didn't give like a full bukkake. It was just like kind of like. So these guys really cranked the shit out of this thing. And I looked down the barrel of it, and basically, what was it, about 100 pounds of pressure?
Oh, I think it was like 600 DPI. It was something crazy, like should have never been.
So I looked down the barrel of this thing, and the next thing I know, fucking my eyeball almost went in the back of the socket.
He did that show that night because we filmed it out of order. We filmed their death scene and little Scooby-Doo chase scene. During the day, and then we filmed them at night doing that show with one camera. Like, I know there's a sync doesn't happen a ton in the movie, like it's not perfect, but for having one camera and getting coverage, Chris Morris was handling the camera during that, and I think did a great job of getting enough B-roll of the band playing that we could match it up.
Oh, looks awesome.
Yeah.
Let me see if I could find like the picture, because me talking about it doesn't do it justice. The after effect of my eyeball looks fucking mint. Here it is right here. This is about 2 minutes or 3 minutes after it happened. Where's the camera? Yeah.
Oh.
Like, I got fucking blasted good, man.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Well, I
That
went
was
We
to
just had some pink eye and we're smoking reefer, bruh.
Yeah. I got glaucoma
Get
too.
some sweetmeats.
So we shot the thing, and then a couple of days later, I was still seeing fog, man. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should go to the optometrist. So I went to an eye doctor, and he was like, yeah, dude, any more pressure, you have definitely lost your fucking eye. But I got a stunt credit, so 10 out of 10 times, I'm going to do that shit again.
Learn nothing from the experience.
Sweetmeats, too. I want both eyes blown out.
Well, it's like that one guy who's like, he ate 400 chicken nuggets and died. So everybody's like, so $3.99 is what you're telling me. It's like, what? You don't got to do it. So you're just like, okay, so if it was 600, if you just put it down to like $5.99, we could do both of them, and it'll be all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. We split the pressure. Maybe if you hit me directly in the middle, hit my unibrow.
No. See, there was another thing too. Is like, I think in my life I can probably name like 2 country songs, but now, I got dreams. I got dreams. See, you're opening up doors that you had no idea you were opening up with this movie.
Man, I don't know who you're lying to. You're sitting there wearing a blue tank top with frosted tips, like.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. It was supposed to be white. It's supposed to be white. By we start filming a movie April 10th, and so I was like, dude, I'm gonna put white hair, and so it's normally my hair is just freaking black as shit, dude. Like, my hair is so thick and dark that this is like a 3-month process. This is a 3-month process, man. I'm trying to get it to go white or even silver or gray, anything, But my hair grows back like
that line delivery. I don't know who you're trying to convince. You're like, bro, it's like my hair. It comes in so black,
dude. It's annoying. I've never worn a beanie in my life.
Look, I get it. Like, every day is a fucking journey of like,
no.
Will I wake up in like this is the Fly situation? I don't know what pod I'm gonna wake up in.
No. I actually razored my head this morning. And this is what came back by this evening. That's how. Yeah, everybody thinks it's a blessing, but I was like, dude, the only thing I can do
Curse.
is like a black Q-tip. Like that's how it looks, man. You
A
know,
blessing.
If this podcast doesn't end with you just standing up, whipping out your hog, like I'm gonna be
I was going to start going like
disappointed.
this. No, and it's funny.
The
Like,
carpet definitely
here's
has to match the drapes.
no, that's the funny thing too.
It's white
I was-
down there,
Dude,
and it's
and
like
that's
you've been lying so much.
Dude, in college, I was trying to get with this girl, right? Listen, hold on. And so I just got my back tattooed, right? And so she's like, well, let's see it. So, dude, I take my shirt off and I show her back. She's like, oh, thank God. I was like, what? And she's like, I thought you'd have a hairy back. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, no. I don't have no
what was
back
the back
hair.
tattoo?
What was the back tattoo?
Yeah.
A Japanese oracle. Like it's only used by like Yakuza mafia members, but like it's a whole like spine is all done. It says Inochi Yori Nao Shimu.
And
So
did
it's
she
just
read that like perfectly, like you just did?
Oh no, she was some
When
white girl
took
with
off her
blonde
shirt
hair.
and she's like,
No, and she stole one of my favorite shirts too, man. It was just a
Oh,
picture of, like
bitch.
a sawed-off shotgun. It was like Ghetto Blaster, and I was like, yeah. And then she asked to borrow it once, and we've all been down that street.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Can
But
never give them those. You can never let them borrow them.
no,
man.
you have to have like different tiers of sweatpants and t-shirts that you're willing to let those. If you're in that stage of like dating somebody,
Mhm.
that you have to be like, all right, you get the Santa pants and you get this shirt that I'm never wearing again.
and
So
then I
one night
made
you
fun
take
of. I think I made fun of like a lazy eye one day in class. It was sign language, and so she's like, "My fucking dad has a lazy eye," and that was the last time we fucking really.
My dad is lazy eye.
Yeah, man, it was fucked up. I was like, "Well, I guess there goes my chances anymore." And then that was it, dude. We were just friends from there on out, and I was like, "God damn it!"
Wait, is this what
Yeah, man.
created you getting the tattoo, or the?
No, I
what
always
happened
have.
after?
I've always had tattoos, but this was my newest one. And like, I was like, dude, you know, this will be that last straw to get this chick. And so then I did it. And she's like, yeah.
This will be the last straw to keep the chick.
No,
was
to get it.
Get.
Oh, get her.
Yeah.
Was the back tattoo the?
Of the lazy eye Yakuza guy.
It's just somebody, right? I was been like, oh, then I just put like her dad's name down there and like with a, like looking like this. Yeah. There's just messed up things that happen in college, man. We've all been there.
We've all been there. None of us have been there except for you.
What? You guys have never done that?
No.
There was one time in
You
a
do
different
some back
college.
Why does everybody else have a?
What?
I got a weird.
I have two of
tattoo
them.
for-
One time I made fun of a Mazda Miata, and this other girl's like, my dad drives one. I was like, hate to tell you something, but
My dad works at the Mazda factory.
what? Yours
That's
does?
the old Mazda factory. It's
No,
just
you know
drives
what,
the one running.
I definitely. Well, this has nothing to do with college, but you know, like when people talk out of like voice box or whatever.
Yeah.
I did that. I was like, you know, those guys that talk like, and I was like saying that, and then about 2 weeks later, our drummer at the time, his mom came to our gig, and she had one of those things, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, he didn't say anything. I feel like such a fucking asshole right now.
So I have a new joke in my stand-up that.
Hey, real quick though, Ricky, nobody cares. Anthony, I gotta know, man. Like we were too offensive or something. We got booted.
No, sorry. My wife and my mother-in-law came home, so I had to move rooms.
Yeah, we got booted. It's all good.
No,
That's
it's
usually where
fine.
I'm at when I'm at the house. He's in his office now.
Yeah,
Ricky,
now I'm
no,
down in
please
my
tell us.
office.
Just do the stand-up joke. Thank you. Continue.
No. You saved everybody from hearing my long-winded joke that I'm working on that I hold
No,
like
this is the
awkwardly.
part of the no, guys. This is the part of the interview where he does one joke and then he spends 35 minutes plugging all of his albums in his stand-up thing, and he's going to talk about his
My
dates.
children need to
just let
eat,
him
you
go.
son of a bitch.
He's opened so many doors for me already. Like I
Wait,
said,
Mr. Hines, this is Mr. Glore's time to say his joke.
Look, we cleared it with everybody. We went and picked up the boys from our babysitter, and our son Gus is teething like crazy, like chewing and biting everything. Like if it goes near his mouth, it's like hungry hippos. And when I picked him up, he was like just gnawing on the top of this toy, like this Spider-Man head. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, he's really teething bad." And she's like, "Yeah, you know what doll he likes to chew on the most?" And I was like, "What?" And she's like,
Uh-oh.
"My Barbie that has a prosthetic leg."
Jeez, what?
And I think she thought my reaction would be like, "Oh, I don't want my son, like my little man, just like sucking on a Barbie leg." Like making a GI Joe, that makes it better. I don't know, like it's so weird, but like that's not what came to my mind. What came to my mind was, and I said it immediately without thinking about like, why does she have a Barbie with a prosthetic leg? Is there somebody in her family that I don't extensively know her family? But my response
I
was,
didn't know they made one.
aren't all of Barbie's limbs prosthetic?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like it's a plastic doll. Like it's like, and this one
Yeah.
is plastic. It's like, is there a Barbie that it's like 3/4 all real limbs and one like rubber limb? Like that would
That'd be even more messed up.
Yeah.
Or if
Maybe
it's,
they should have like a detachable penis Barbie or something.
pin the penis on Barbie doll.
who's that dude?
He's a Sheila.
Bobbit? It's like
Lorena
it's not a
Bobbitt.
doll. It's Lorena Bobbitt. What's her husband?
John
Yeah.
Wayne Bobbitt.
John Wayne Bobbitt.
Yeah. This day it could be a grower. This day it could be a shower. See, I think we're onto something here, guys.
You know, actually, the director of John Wayne Bobbitt's porno is a Troma alumnus.
Affiliate?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Wow.
He directed
there's
also.
another one. Just another feather in the cap.
Jason, my buddy Jason Green. He directed Tromeo and Juliet, and
The James Gunn script.
yep,
Yeah.
and he
Oh.
went on to do Frankenpenis.
All right.
And I'm not kidding. That's what it's called.
Sorry.
No, I
You've
believe
hijacked
it.
Just enough. What questions about the movie Sweet
Okay.
Meats?
Yeah.
Or anything
So-
you want to say?
I did have a couple like character based.
Well, real quick, Anthony, before you ask his questions, you
By all
haven't
means.
praised the movie enough yet. So I just wanted
No, I
to
was-
make sure that
My
Yeah.
question was going to be a praise and a question at the same time.
oh sweet two-parter.
I do that a lot.
Two-part
I
question.
like to throw compliments in my questions. But no, like the Ricky character, I thought, or not the Ricky character, Bobby character. Yeah.
This asshole.
Yeah, but like I love the kind of like naive gullibility he has in the beginning and how he's awakening to this, horrific reality, and it just feels like it never truly sets in by the end of the film.
Just real quick, because that's a perfect. What asshole puts himself twice on the poster? You know,
Two different characters.
what's their names?
Bobby.
Famous Bobby and
I like this guy's thinking. Famous
Wow.
Bobby and not famous Bobby.
well, so I had a question. So your beard was real in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yeah,
Then-
begrudgingly to my wife.
Oh, and may I
She's
Oh,
like,
ask?
why do you
geez.
have to keep on? She's like, why do you have to keep on writing characters that look like pieces of shit? And I
See?
was like, because I'm not a good actor and I need my hair to do it for me.
See, and
I
that's
feel like you're a great
thing.
actor.
Oh, thank you. See, Nick,
You
you see,
Yeah,
you
you-
see, people like me.
you see.
you kind of like attach to the humanity of it really well, which I kind of feel like in some of these indie films, like character work isn't being a Brad Pitt, it's being somebody that I think I would see in real life. And this is somebody that I imagine exists. Like, I don't have a problem with that.
That's the greatest pull quote ever for a poster. Look, there's people in this movie, they don't look like Brad Pitt. Like, they're like, oh,
They
we know what we're
exist.
getting into. These people don't look like Brad Pitt. Like, if
No,
I
there's
see one
one-
person that looks like Brad Pitt, I'm calling like foul on this review.
There was, I think, during COVID, like I grew my beard out. You know, it wasn't as majestic as yours, but my my son was in first grade, and so he's like, "Hey, Dad," I think it was like reading week, and he was like, "Can you come and read to my class?" And I was like, "All right," but before that, I had to. Well, he decided to cut my beard, however he wanted to cut it. And so, like, I went there, and the cops stopped me. They're like, "Hey, because of your facial hair, you're not allowed to be within 50 yards of a school." And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Yeah, like my son just screwed me up so bad. And then every time I fuck around and do something nerdy with my beard for Halloween or something, my wife's like, wakes up, and instead of being, instead of my wife being like, "Hey, babe," she's like, "What did you do?" Like, that's all. Like, "What did you do?" And I was like, "God damn it."
I feel like this is such
What
a fucking
have you
ruse that you're like bringing up. Like, you do have all these like preordained like machinations. You're just like fucking like, okay, why can't I do like a little doohickey
Dude.
thing for 4th of July? Like, that's tropical. Like, come on now. Like, and you're just like, why can't I do what I want with my beard?
It's also, you can tell who your real friends are too. Like, I grew, you can, because if you grew like mutton chops and just like a Fu Manchu, and then
Yeah.
your neighbors were like, "Hey, looking good, Brian," I'd be like, "I knew you didn't like me. Like, why are you lying to me and saying, But your friend would be like, "Why'd you do that?" Like, be like, "Oh, okay. Now you're telling me the truth." Like, "All right, thank you." So that's what was going on, like the whole beard thing. And then the second part is like, "May I ask how old you are?"
Me?
Yeah.
I'm too old. Like, I'm looking, like, I'm leaning in. Hiance can contest. In the last like year after having the twins,
Oh,
I
God.
have leaned into the Ned Flanders like cosplay.
Well, that
Like,
was just more of the you had your beard, and that guy made the comment where he's like, "Bobby, you're pushing 40." And I was like, "There's no way Bobby's beard is 40, but Bobby isn't."
I am currently 39 years old. I was 37 and 38 when we did the
You
movie.
see, and then when you shaved your beard, like 20 years of your life just went right out the window. And I was like, "Holy
Yeah.
shit!" That's why I was like, "Was that a real beard?"
Yeah. That was,
Yeah.
and we had one take to film it.
I saw it in real life.
Yeah. You didn't see, because I was already shaved by
Oh, yeah,
then.
that's right.
Because we had to. There's one scene. So I Got Dreams was filmed. We had already filmed like 7 or 8 hours that day or something crazy at Nick's restaurant.
Uh-huh.
And then because we had to film things chronologically because of the facial hair and
Yeah.
a few different other things, we got done filming at Nick's restaurant in Harrison, Ohio, which is like 35 minutes away from where Nick Hiance and I live. And I said to Hiance, he's like, "Are we good?" I'm like, "We have to go to my house in the basement and film the scene where I'm in my underwear and I sing this ballad and it's just you and me. We don't need any other crew, but like, it's going to take a half an hour." And like, he was just like, and I was like, "And we have to do it tonight because tomorrow we film the scene where I shave my beard."
Mm-hmm.
And like, and we need this and this joke in here and blah, 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 blah. And he was just like, "Fine, whatever." He's like, let's go to your basement.
Let's just get it
on
over
your-
with.
Get on your whitey tighties and play guitar in front of me.
See, that was probably the worst part, is having to wear briefs, right?
Yes, that was the worst.
See? Like, I don't care. I could be naked in front of a man, but make people put on a pair of briefs? Like, where's my dignity at? But at least they were packing, man. There you go.
Wait. Are you saying you would rather hang hog
Oh, 100%.
Unsheathed
100%.
rather than wear briefs in front of it, dude? Wait.
100%. 100. I got well, here's something. I don't even know if Anthony. So I got snipped. You know what
I'd
I'm
wear the
saying?
briefs.
I got snipped.
Continue.
And they're like, "Hey, after the surgery, you have to wear briefs for 5 days." And I was like, "What?"
High and
I was
tight,
like-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, "I can't wear boxer briefs." They're like, "No." So I was like, "Are you sure?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"Yep." So I had to go to the store and actually buy a package of briefs as an adult man. And then I had to wear them. And like every night I'd be like, okay, babe, turn the light off before I take my pants off. I'm going to crawl into
Because
bed.
you're embarrassed.
Dude,
That's
briefs?
awesome. That's adorable.
Dude, briefs? Come on, man. But, you know.
My dad gave me 2 of his pairs of tidy whities when I got snipped. I had to wear them. Yeah. I was
Dude, and like I try to be like cool, and I got like the like colored ones, you know, because I was like, I'm not gonna wear white ones. Like I'm gonna get like
would make him cool. Instead of like, ooh,
red,
this one's
green,
blue,
gray,
this one's
right?
green, this one's red.
Yeah.
I think I'd be
No,
more like
uh,
self-conscious about like the bacon strips that the tidy whities show sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes, instead of the balls.
Nope, I rocked. I think I wore them for like 3 days, and I was like, I'm done. And then as soon as I threw them all in the garbage, yeah,
And you lit him on fire and
Yeah.
protest.
like this is the worst experience of my life. And like, you know, I developed
But it's
gangrene and
gone
lost
through the
one of.
atrocities that I have.
Yeah, so, you know, I'll be like, you don't know, you had birth. Oh, big deal. I had to wear underwear.
Oh,
See, that's the compromise.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Um,
so yeah, no, that was the whole thing. The
20
beard,
minutes
and then
ago, I interrupted Anthony. He had a 2-parter. I'm not
I had
sure
a-
if we got to the
I had
second
a
part.
two-parter. Like, first of all, like the kind of like the gullibility of your character and how he just easily goes along with everything, and that kind of moves this movie along really well. I like that. And then there's the whole relationship that occurs because of it with you and Laddie, and like her sort of like descent into evil, like both those parts, like that's what kept me in the movie along with Jerry, was just the character stuff. It's amazing.
yeah, I think Eileen as Laddie, she does a ton of heavy lifting because being the director and also in front of the camera, and Hiance being almost like an uncredited second director because it's him and I working together, like with the blocking, with him with the monopod, like following us around in a lot of long takes, almost like it's a documentary. Eileen, because I don't have the ability to be able to go back and forth with her. We filmed the movie. The primary principal photography was 8 days in a row. So like Eileen doing those long monologues where like I know it, but like I'm not much of a scene partner with her. She's doing a lot of heavy lifting. What I love is all it took was, whether by her design or not, once her dad is dead, she's like, great. Now everything that I've thought this out. This has been a scenario. Like the way she plays it, like I've thought like if dad dies and I get this, all I gotta do is this, this, and this. And like she allows things to grow how they maybe would, until like she ultimately knows that Bobby's allegiance is with her for no reason, because one of her first commands is don't let Jerry down in the basement. And he's just
Mhm.
like, okay. Like immediately he turns his back on like the best relationship he might have with somebody based on like what we know and what we've seen. He immediately like he's just like, a woman told me to not do something. Yep. Just with the promise or the thought that like we will be together. That's
then he
the
got it.
that's the delusion, and that's the kind of the Machiavellian nature of Bobby that I think is there. Is he knows that Jerry can't be there because Jerry is more talented as a singer, as a musician, and it's just like, okay, if I'm gonna make it, I really have to be separate of you. And so then when push ultimately comes to shove, he's just like, yeah, you're not going to get me what I want. And it's something more beyond, like, I can have 1,000 cheerleaders. I'll miss you, but you kind of are no longer fulfilling a need that I have, even though it feels like it's Macbeth, that you're supposed to feel bad for Mac when he kills Banquo. And it's just like, he does it because he justifies doing it. Like, even Bobby not making certain decisions, like, he's still making a decision to be okay with, like, what happens ultimately.
Yeah, no, I think that's very well put. The because there, I do feel like from start to finish, this movie explains every piece of every decision that a character makes, and it's not in like a tedious way. It's like everything you do need to know, and it's just amazing storytelling. And it's well shot. I mean, um, not to say that it's not like true Troma, but it's like this. I feel like this subverts those expectations a little bit of what you expect when you go into a Troma film.
I think Troma wanted to go outside the box, and that's why they got this movie, and they wanted to.
They got a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not trying to scare away the Troma people, like I said before,
No.
but I think they wanted something different, and I'm saying that because now that I've seen this movie, and I've also caught an hour of the new one that they're doing, Power of Positive Murder, which is Lloyd's directing, and that's totally different from any Troma movie that I've seen. So I don't know. Maybe they're just looking for a different way right now.
But definitely, yeah. Like this is one that like it. I was laughing a lot. I was engaged. I liked all the characters, even the ones that are supposed to be bad. Like everybody did a great job.
Who was your number one character? We've been talking about this recently. There's either Team Bobby, Team Jerry, or Team Laddie. Like if you have a different like number one of like Team whoever, like Team Pizza Guy, we'll take it, or Team like Ponce de la Surge, or Team like Surly Shirley. But like usually the main three are Bobby, Laddie, or Jerry. Each of you, who are you team?
I can tell you who, and I can tell you why, because there's one who's far above the rest. It's definitely Jerry, because I work in adult psych, and mostly we get like drug addicts, schizophrenics, paranoid people, stuff like that. But then they'll throw the people with disabilities and people that are a little less developed than they should be at their age, and you always feel like you have to protect them from everybody else because there's always a boundary issue there, and the drug addicts will get violent with everybody, and that's the last thing you want to happen. And I think it was when they say, oh, he's slow, he's this, he's that, it's like I just felt like he needs to be protected. Like that was my thinking.
Yeah, and I don't. Timmy had brought that up about it's funny. These are two separate conversations that happened before the movie was made, and one that was just made this past week. Was Timmy before the movie was made? He's like, I think obviously Jerry loves Bobby, and he's incredibly comfortable with being like, I love you, Bobby. Like yeah, there's like they're guys, and like they talk about guy things and like dumb things or whatever. But Timmy was like, Jerry is on the spectrum in a way that was like probably not understood even in this like Fantasia 1978. But then flash forward to, so we talked about that for his portrayal as Jerry, and I was just like, yep, I completely agree. And he mapped different areas in the script where he would do certain things. He's like, I think this is the choice for why Jerry does this, especially things with the banana. Like the story of the banana was 100% Timmy. Like he pitched that to go with the character, and we were like, yep, that works. And here's a song we could do with it, and have your own music video of In Heaven at the end. But just this past week, when Eileen and I were doing the news interviews, we were talking about the characters, and I said, one of my favorite things is the one familial thing that they all three share. Because like Laddie ultimately shares a few things, like loving the world's greatest dad mug, the power, and her
Oh, yeah.
IBS in her stomach connects her to her dad in a way that like she's probably a lot like her dad that she never wanted to agree on. But the thing that connects all three of them is they each hide things and they love a reveal. So like Laddie has the Burger King crown and like pops it out. Nick, their dad, has the contract, his bag to go, the booze, and then Timmy at the end in the same spot of his dad has Bobby's guitar in the same like cabinet and just like pulls it out. Eileen's like, yeah, she's like, we're all on the spectrum, but in different ways, which makes sense also to a parental figure where it probably came from the dad, where how it then is portrayed within like the family tree. So again, things we've talked about, not necessarily things we talked about at length, and then we're like, and we got to get that on film. Like it has just been things that because we all are just nerdy about the thing we're making that we've almost done our own like podcast with each other, getting like really specific about our thoughts and ideas of like what things ultimately mean in the movie.
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah.
Everything you were saying, same with the dad and everything.
Oh yeah. So who's your team, Brian?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm 100% Bobby. And then you need to edit this out because I will never support a country singer. But cut that shit out. But Bobby, 100%. Bobby was everything. I think that everything about him, he wanted to run the restaurant. Well, he didn't think he could, but he could. And then he had his own dreams. And even though all those haters were telling him not to do it and everything, and then he read the Rusty Dinger country music book writer. And so he became, he became what he wanted to do, and so everything that Bobby set out that he wanted to do, he did. He became social. He said he was shy in the beginning. That's why he didn't want to run the restaurant. And then he started running a successful restaurant. He tried to smash Laddie and he got it. And then he became a famous country singer.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And successful, you see. So what has Bobby tried to do in his life that he didn't accomplish? The only thing, but it was a good decision, is when he shaved his beard, man.
That was it.
The only thing, though, is he didn't shave his beard for a woman. He shaved his beard for his freaking job.
Yeah.
See, so there's respect for that one. Because there's that saying, a man who shaves his beard for a woman deserves neither. See? A beard. It's a pretty good thing, man.
God,
I think I'm going to write that one down.
Like, man, you have like bumper sticker and like koozie slogans for days.
All right, let's end it then, guys. Let's end it on a top note. All right. But how you were mentioning like the dad and like all those levels of like that, everything, like clearly the dad passed on his intelligence to his son and everything when his son's trying to give him like the top-notch advice about how Charles Manson and Lee Harvey Oswald and Hitler and even the dad's like, oh, you know what they say, when the coffee hits my stomach, gotta take a shit. Like, oh, that's the advice you give your kids. And then he's like, every day my dad would wake me up and be like, hey, stay in your lane, you gotta limit your capability.
That is like
what the hell?
There are so many things that I love about the movie. I mean, it is just because we didn't do a lot of takes because of it being such a small budget, no budget movie, that scene in particular, we had, I think, the most takes, and Timmy delivered different levels of comedy. So like he would do it straight laced, he would do it, I feel like, then like a slightly heightened, and then he would do it like way over the top. And those were the three that we had, and we like had to use those by punching in with shooting in 4K to match like some coverage. But that line in particular where he's just like, you know, what my dad's always saying, like every morning when he pulls me out of bed, and he's like, Jerry, you have limited capabilities. And like Bobby's like, oh, Jerry, that's not like that's an awful way to wake up. And he's like, no. He's like, it's okay. It's good.
Did he say he had limited?
He said limited. Yeah, I remember that.
capabilities.
Oh, I thought he said. Oh, I
What'd
thought
you
that
think
he
he
said
said?
you. I thought he said you need to limit your capabilities.
Well,
like,
that works
hey,
too.
like he was like, hey, bro, don't go chasing waterfalls. All right.
No. You're not wrong. It's the same sentiment that to
Okay.
pursue
All right.
every morning. This grown man wakes up this other grown man who's
I
still
want to
in
wake my son up for school
probably
every day.
a bunk bed. Yeah, it was just like you got limited. Like just that sincerity. He's saying to Bobby, he's just like, "Hey, man, like." You can do whatever to me, like, and you're going to, like, you're gonna break my heart, basically, but I'm always gonna be there. And even like at the end, Jerry's just like, "Oh, wait, you dropped that? Oh, let me get that for you." Like, oh no, no.
Right.
Like,
I was
even
really,
ends
dude. I didn't
like-
want to
like
see
this.
Jerry die. I didn't want to see Jerry go.
Yeah, that
out,
was
man.
tough.
No.
You know the thing.
So your team Bobby though, your team Jerry, Nick. What are you, Hiance? What are you? Like, I'm curious. Who are you team of the main three?
Who of the main three? I mean, I would personally go Laddie. She has my favorite lines in the film. So
What's your favorite one? Is it the one in the montage with the podcast host that came down from They're Terrified, They're Tipsy? Is it like,
Yeah,
we're gonna have to kill you with kindness?
I always forget that line.
Yeah,
that's my second favorite line. My favorite line is the disappointments all around in the Groot household.
Grayson, who are you, team?
I love Bobby, but I like them all.
Pay the man.
But
Pay the man.
I like Bobby, but my favorite line in the whole movie is when she and Laddie and Bobby hook up, and she's like smiling for the cameras, and she's like, "Don't do that. I'm gonna cut your fucking dick off," or something. What did she say? Or cut your balls off?
Yeah, if I see you with another woman like that again, I'm going to cut your dick off and we'll start serving hot dogs on the menu.
Oh yeah.
And the way she says it, and she's smiling. I love that part. That's so
See,
good.
she must have caught a glimpse of him in his tidy whities.
Yeah.
She knew that they'd be able to get a couple of dongs out of that. See?
Oh.
No, and then yeah. Just it's all around. Like the only thing there was that first female customer that I was like, all right, she's gonna get beat up any minute now. She's gonna get beat up. Did she live? Huh? She didn't get beat up or murdered.
No,
Right?
that was my very pregnant wife who was ordering a Diet Coke to go.
Dude.
She is repeating being a pregnant woman. Our first film, All Your Friends Are Dead, which presumably within our like Viewisk universe that we've created takes place at least 25, 30 years later. So Allie, my wife, plays a pregnant woman in All Your Friends Are Dead, and she plays the same pregnant woman. I guess that's her mom who's pregnant with her, who's that same pregnant woman. It's a pregnant woman universe.
Yeah, no, like there was, and then like we were talking about Laddie and stuff like that. Like I felt so bad because all those customers were probably the reason why everything was just messed up. Like what was Shirley, who eats everything and doesn't do it? The customer who wanted the soda, the pizza guy, like
The customer
everything,
who
like-
wanted the soda. The customer who comes in for like normal commerce. And it's
Dude.
just like, I'd like a soda and like as little to no drama as possible, please.
she was, I don't know,
Yeah.
it was something I was like, uh-oh, Laddie's not going to have it, man. If there's somebody who I know so far in this movie, it's Laddie.
Her introductory scene. I love that. Because that's where she's like, yeah, she explains the boy's name and all that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And she's like, why is it a boy's name? And you're like, God damn it. What? Yeah. Like, man, we've all been there. Again, it's one of those things where there's those random
Every
people
one
that are
of us
like
on
this.
this podcast have been there. Somebody's questioned our name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine. That's why I like mine's. It's usually Brian with a B because everywhere I go, it's like, yeah, my name's Brian. They're like, all right, Ryan. I'm like, what did you fucking hear what I just said? Brian. And so if I like try to announce it, they're like, Brian.
You're
They're like,
not like
gosh.
signing your kid up for like little league, and you're like, "Did you fucking hear what I just said?"
Dude, every
It's
time
like,
I
Danny,
order
why are
food,
you angry? You haven't had a chorus banquet yet today.
haven't had a banquet beer. Yeah, no. Every time I order food, and then I got a call like, "Hey, what's up?" They're like, "We don't have your order." I was like, "Ryan," they're like, "Oh yeah, right here. Why don't you say it right the first time?" I'm like, "You son of a bitch!" It's not. God damn it. Yeah,
Your life is a Tennessee Williams play that is yet to be written.
it is. I was going to just write a book, but this one guy wrote a book before me. I think it's called "I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell."
Just one guy.
Right? This is my life.
Fucking the Bible, by God. Like, you find out that dude wrote a book, and you're just like, you're not going to be better than that book. It's written by God. Like, #1, like, bestseller.
Dude, and I saw a funny. Yep. Anyways, but no, man, everything was good. The last song, "The Sweetest Meats," that was such really that song was like super good.
Oh, thank you. That's Dustin Matthew Taylor, who does the Legend of Bobby Sweets song. That once the kids book, once it goes like Princess Bride, and they start going into the world of the Golden Leaf knockoff book. He did the Legend of Bobby Sweets, and he also did the vocals and the arrangement for Diddle My Fiddle. That final song, Sweetest Meats, that last minute came from, I went and saw the Counting Crows play, and I was just like, I would like to write a dumb Counting Crows song where he's as sincere about sweet meat, like smoking meats, like cannibalism, as he is about like,
it was a good song, man.
Like, and I was just like, I just want to see, like, I busted out the acoustic guitar. It was like capo on the third or something. And I was just like, yeah, I think I can. But then again, the magic of all that is I send it to Dustin Matthew Taylor, who then hears it, and I tell him what I'm going for. And he's such a much better musician and an artist, who's then like, oh, this is what you're going for. And I'm like, same as Nick with like Eat the People. It's leaps and bounds above that dumb like demo that I sent. Like, so if like anybody looks like, Ricky, you wrote all the songs, it's like, yeah, I get a credit, but like a real low credit next to like David Kornfeld or Nick Vitus, who then blew out the arrangements and like were able to make these songs sound like they had a big production budget where we didn't really. It was a lot of favors and low to no pay.
No, like I said, the whole soundtrack was awesome, man. Like I said, it was a surprise. Like, I had no idea it was a musical. And then another thing, Anthony's going to be surprised about this. Like, I watched this movie sober, so like the entire movie I didn't have a single drink. Yeah, man. So that's another thing too. I was like, damn, you can really watch movies and not have alcohol in your system.
So then when I went to the meeting that weekend, like to get my like card stamp for my guy who like says if I can see my kids next week, I said, I was like, look, hey man, you're gonna love this. I just watched a film or a movie or I don't know what you call them now.
That was a solid hour 40.
I don't know what the pronoun is, but like I did it without no booze.
Yeah. It was good. No, that's just how
that's like
entertaining it was. That's how entertaining it was.
It was very entertaining.
It was awesome. Very entertaining.
I'm psyched to see the movies with other people right now, man. Definitely. I want to see what they react to.
I'd be surprised to see the parts they react biggest to, because there were some for me, but I know that's not everybody's reaction. So
please do tell. Are there a couple ones that you like you hang your hat on where you're like, like that's gonna be a big moment?
Like I would say I got like a small laugh out of the whole like food slogan pun conversation. like I was like I caught all those when that started. That was pretty funny. But like like I said before, like Jerry's physical bits were really good. That whole conversation about the limited capabilities, I did laugh really hard at that because that's a conversation that would have been had in like the 70s or the 80s. And
like all the gore was on point.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. That's so with the Jerry scene, talking about the physicality and the evolution of that is there's that final scene where Jerry finally gets the banana open and he drops it. So we were like literally like we're like, all right, Timmy, this is one of your final scenes, like with the banana, like do whatever. He wasn't like, here is what the trajectory of the scene is going to be, and it's going to culminate in this. So we're standing, Nick on the monopod, me not in the scene, getting to watch, and Timmy does this, like he gets it open. Like it's this short film inside of this movie. It's like a Pixar short film inside of this dumb Troma movie, where he drops it in his bucket and he goes, "Oh fuck!" I was laughing so hard off camera. The audio manipulation of that scene, I don't know how it sounds so good because I ruined that take, and it was so fucking funny because Timmy just made a meal out of being like, all right, and here's your coverage, like here's your part of the scene, and we all just were, I mean, I guess I'm just speaking for myself of just like in awe of just being like, this is so fucking funny. I hope this translates on, you know, whatever we're capturing here to an audience, and I think it's going to, because I think he's going to get people that just fall in love with his sincerity and his just like loyalty.
Oh,
Yeah, if he would have dropped in his bucket of water, it could have been, you know, just like that kid eating that candy bar in his bathtub in Gummo. He could have just picked it right back up and eaten. You guys seen that movie Gummo, right?
Yeah, it
Yes.
was.
Yeah, lifting weights with those forks and spoons. But there you go.
Who made Gummo?
I don't know.
That's
We just
his
watched
aunt.
it because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
movie Belly. But, yeah. With that, that's one more thing. Any suggestions for us? Just say, hey, watch this movie. It's pretty funny. Or watch this movie. It's pretty good.
Ooh.
1, 2, 3.
Last year, we were on a Van Damme kick.
Yes.
So we went through and watched, maybe we've only probably gotten through like half of his catalog, and definitely like the, you know, early 90s, late 80s catalog, not maybe the, you know, 2000s. We haven't necessarily cracked that shit up. Right.
There's a real interesting like break where it's like was on top of the world and doing a lot of cocaine, and then there was like didn't have money or roles anymore. Like we kind of lived in this like golden era of Van Damme. But yeah, I had never seen any of those movies.
What?
So is it Double Trouble? Is it or
Double Trouble? No,
Oh,
double.
God.
No.
Double
Dennis
Impact.
Rodman.
Double Impact?
Double
Double
Impact.
Impact.
It's Double Impact where he's his own twin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Trouble.
Double
kids,
Trouble
yeah.
is with the Barbarian twins, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, see, even how you just brought it back up. Van Damme, remember his girlfriend slept with his twin brother, and he goes in there wearing silk briefs, and he's like, you sleep with him because he looks like me? You see, I know Van Damme. Yeah, he's like,
what
because
a
he looks
good-
like me?
What
You're a
good
very
pull.
cultured man. You're a very cultured man.
You are. Do not judge a book by its cover. One of the Jeff Lewis, who is his dad's friend, who takes him the one to San Francisco because the other one is taken to a French Japanese orphanage, and that explains why
He's so
the
cool.
one has this accent. Like,
Oh,
What was it?
I fucked up. Can we reverse and edit? I got my answer, like my Troma Hands Cross Tromerica answer.
All right, here we go.
of course, our movie is part of Hands Across Tramerica, going all around. And if you're in the area, it's just everywhere. It's just playing. Curse of the Were-Deer is a
Curse
movie
of
we
the
got to
Were-Deer.
get a sneak peek of before, and it's going to be part of like the 5 or 6 films playing.
It's After Hours,
He's
right?
Yeah, it's the last
absolutely
movie.
bonkers in like all of the Troma ways that you want it to be. It goes there, and it is insane. And I think, did we watch it like after filming one night, or maybe it was like during our editing or something? It was
Editing.
some
I still haven't
post
seen it.
processing of Sweetmeats, and we sat down to watch Curse of the Were-Deer, kind of like, oh, here's another Troma film coming out around the same time.
Comedy horror. Yeah.
Let's see how we stack up. And we were, I think, like, we died laughing. It is shocking
Curse
in
of
all
the
the right ways.
Were-Deer.
Don't
All right.
watch it with your kids. So that's
It is. I mean, right. If you've ever like, I like to play the game of like what would the VHS box head look like if you're ever looking through streaming things of like new releases and you watch something and you're like, okay, whatever that does, like the image was that it clicked, whatever. After watching the movie, what would have been that box that would have been like marketed to you to make you watch the movie? Because either the movie sucked or it was being like you were supposed to feel like it was like an espionage movie, but it actually was this, or like
Yeah, there's a
Curse
lot
of
of
the
that.
Were-Deer. I think is one of those where you're going to be watching it and you're going to be like, this is really weird. This is really funny. How weird and funny is this? And then the movie will answer you at the scene and you'll be like, oh, okay. But like, how much weirder or funny does this get? And then it does another thing. And you're just like, oh, okay, I just need to let it do its thing because it's going to keep going off the rails in a lot of different ways that, again, like Nick said, some are because Ben Johnson, the filmmaker who's going to be moderating our premiere Q&A, he worked for Lloyd for over 10 years. And so like he has these touchstones of Troma movies in there, but while also making a really, which Lloyd likes to do, compares it to Matt and Trey, who created South Park. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think Curse of the Were-Deer has a lot of very South Parkian kind of
Excellent.
elevations of execution of jokes that I'm just like, oh man, you are also living outside of the quote unquote Troma with some of what you're doing, but you're also doing a good job of blending what makes a Troma movie that I think if you were like rolling the dice on going and see a Troma movie, Curse of the Were-Deer, not Sweetmeats.
All right. Well, it's on my list now.
nice.
I have something to add. I watched it the other night. Bill Burr's new comedy special that's on Hulu is fucking hysterical.
Oh, Drop
Oh, no.
Dead Years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one yet. I love his
Oh
stuff.
man, I was fucking dying. It's really funny.
I'm trying to think if I have. Yeah, I mean, I just advocated for Curse of the Were-Deer as well, but a weird noir film that I hadn't heard of that my dad found. We watched together, just kind of both went in blind. It was Private Health 37, and it's about these two cops, and it feels very of like the McCarthy era of just like you can't trust even your partner next to you. Like for what reasons do they wear the badge and blah blah blah. And it almost seems like parody-ish at the beginning. Like, oh, they're in on the joke of like this is how bad old crime detective movies sound. Like doing like, yeah, well, you see, like like stuff like that. But then the movie uses that, it feels like, weirdly conscious of it, and then starts subverting it and adding some real life stakes and some griminess. And you're just like, oh, I wonder if you just made it that way at the beginning because that was the easiest access point to like really get into the political nature of like someone who does decide to be a cop, and like what are their motives, and like why are they executing their job the way they are, for whatever personal beliefs or whatever. Ends up just being a really interesting movie that at the end of it doesn't have this weird like Hays Code ending where everything like ties up with a bow. It's a little shocking for like a 1955 movie, and you're just like, huh, I like a movie with a dour ending every now and then. Hiance and I, after one of the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies one night on Amazon, it started playing this movie called, I think, The Great Silence, which was the spaghetti western that had like a Django quality, like Southsploitation, like spaghetti western. And we're like, oh, the movie's going to be about this guy who can't talk. He's been, his vocal cords were cut, and he's getting revenge. He's a little bit Clint Eastwood, the man with no name. We're like, he's gonna overcome this hitman that's been hired to kill him because he's been fucking up all these railroad systems and these real estate things. No, spoiler, movie ends with the bad guy, like the hired dude who's just like, look, I gotta feed my family too, and this guy's a real thorn in the side of my employers. And he just like fucking guns down everybody, including this hero, this El Mariachi like guy. And like the movie's filmed in the snow, which a lot of spaghetti westerns you don't see. And like I remember watching that movie just being like, fuck, is that what budget gets you? Like I would do something like that, like, but there's no, like, we don't have money for the this beautiful landscape or these lofty ideas.
Hard endings.
Still solid.
Yeah,
Still solid.
I like hard endings.
Yeah, man. Did you guys see Nora?
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Well, now I watched it, and I wanted The Substance to win this year.
Yeah.
But I'm not upset that Nora won. Nora was really good, and I ended up going back and looking at Sean Baker's other movies and stuff.
Oh, like Red Rocket and stuff.
Yeah, Red Rocket, and there's also the Florida Project.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like, the Florida Project is like a fucking gut punch. And it really hits home. And like Nora, they did
those
a really
are hard
good job,
movies
man.
to talk people into watching.
Yeah.
Right? Like, like it's almost like like indie movies like that. It's like they're like, hey man, you should watch this. It's really good. Because you don't want to scare somebody off. Because like on the poster, it's like, it's a fucking gut punch. It's just like, what night of the week is it? It's Tuesday? Yeah. I don't like going into my Wednesdays with a fucking gut punch. So I'm going to watch whatever, like something that makes me feel just happy before I go to bed.
Yeah, nope. I mean, you want to fuck up your day, man. Just watch that movie.
Just like that movie on Irreversible. Anyway,
Jasper Noel.
Now that's a real gut punch.
I think, gosh, what was the one horrific that was after it about the dance troupe? That
Showgirls?
No. It's Jasper Noel who did Irreversible. Where they're in this lodge and they're rehearsing. It's this Russian dance troupe. And somebody spikes the punch, and they all start like freaking out and
tripping.
Yeah, but like
they're from Russia.
Yeah,
so, I mean, don't they just smash vodka left and right? Wake up, brush your teeth.
It's bad. It's like it's one of those movies that you feel like you're in the claustrophobia of the environment, like The Thing, like John Carpenter's The Thing. We've talked about on another podcast. There's a claustrophobia in that movie, like Alien, that when a movie is able to pull off, making you feel like you're in the haunted house of the quote unquote movie. Like, I don't know that I don't think Descent. I could ever reach the Descent. Oh yeah, that's
the worst out of them all.
Oh yeah.
Oh geez, yeah.
That's a oneer for me, man. I can't watch that ever again.
Well, all right, guys. Well, I want to, thank you for taking the time out and, talking to us
thank
nerds.
you so much.
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
appreciate. Thanks for getting us on. Sometimes we get yabbing. I haven't got this much FaceTime with Ricky in months, so
Oh.
sometimes we're known to derail a show or two. So
I know you guys are great. We love talkers.
But yeah,
We like to make it about you
Yeah.
guys.
appreciate it.
no.
Yeah, so this
Well, I'll
Saturday,
do-
hands across Tromerica at the
Yeah,
Esquire
Cincinnati,
Theater.
Ohio on Saturday, March 22nd. There's other dates around the country. We're hoping to add more. We're always updating our website, thenky.com. You'll see all the dates on there. There's links to all the tickets. Any news, articles, or new events we have coming up, we'll post it on there. So appreciate
and
it.
I'll straight up say that this has been the deal that Troma has been willing to make for a lot of reasons that they feel comfortable with. If you're somebody listening to this and you know a theater that would be willing to book or make it the arrangements for Sweetmeats, Troma will be doing a 50-50 split. As long as they get 50% of ticket sales, you can rent the movie and show it wherever.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah,
just
you guys
something to
out in
keep in mind.
Vegas, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What was the theater Tom Devlin uses? We went to a Tom
at the
Devlin
Palms.
movie. It's at the Palms. It's the Brendan Theaters.
Oh yeah.
We
And
went
there's
to
that
his
one theater.
premiere.
There's that one theater where they were trying to. We were talking with her, but she was out of the country.
Oh, was it the Beverly? Or I don't know the
Maybe.
name of it.
An older one, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that was
Yeah,
new.
that's-
So I don't know if that's the name.
Maybe we can get something worked out and get a screening out in Vegas. So
Hell yeah. We come out for
Let's go to
that.
Vegas.
This is another reason to come out here.
I
right?
also just bought Mr. Glore here 25 pairs of tighty whities. So
On
if you
Amazon.
rent him for the evening, he'll show up to your house with the sweetmeats, literally, and show the movie as well.
Oh,
That's where the movie name come from.
he
So it
thinks he's
wasn't about the
making a joke.
hamburgers.
Yeah, he thinks he's making a joke, but I like money on the
No, we're fucking
table.
serious.
Like, yeah, like, oh, and you're gonna watch the movie? Like, that's a win for me. I don't even need the money.
You've got bills to pay. We've
Yeah.
got mouths to feed. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna
If
feed
this
him
is
too.
the only way, I know.
We got this. You're gonna like
don't.
the sweetmeats that we give you.
See, and now it's making sense. That's where the name came from. It's not, human flesh. Isn't it salty? But the tidy whities. The tidy
I love-
whities, that's where
Like,
it's sweetness.
it's lazy. I mean, not to keep this going, but like, I love that we do not give an explanation of just like, it's just like, it's not a process. They drop the magic meat into the magic grinder and it comes up magically seasoned. Like, there's no explanation of like, well, why does it taste good? I don't know. Well, why is it porksicles? We've ripped out people's tongues and people are just eating them. What did you do? Did you add any flavor? No, we're just serving them tongues.
Uh-oh.
Like,
Oh, someone
no.
left us.
Oh,
Oh,
Anthony died.
Anthony just texted me and said he got kicked out. Oh,
Shit.
well.
I think it
his
must.
house.
It's time to go.
His
Time
wife's
to
like, get the
go,
hell out of
boys."
the basement. No,
He self-imploded.
right? Hold on, sorry. Technology, right? No, but let's see. Hopefully, if you guys stay on, maybe I can just click. Oh wait, unless he can rejoin it, who knows? But no,
We
it was
should
super
continue until he comes up.
right.
It's been days.
Podcast goes in local news. Podcast goes on and blows
It's
the
a
premiere.
72-hour, right? It's a 72-hour podcast. Why did anybody?
Those guys never shut the fuck up.
They started a
Right.
GoFundMe.
Okay, now I'm
There
back.
he is.
Oh God, thank God. Whew.
Right? Like Brian was talking way too goddamn much.
You know what? The when you were saying about why the meat tastes the way that it is,
Yeah.
take a page out of the book of Texas Chainsaw 2. The secret's in the meat.
Yeah.
See?
Apparently, yes, of course, because we
Because
never
that was
hear.
a big influence to the movie, right?
Oh yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Texas Chainsaw 2. There's a lot of weirdness to it, But the movie that I never fully gave my appreciation to until recently, where I discovered the satirical nature of the genre that had just started, was Motel Hell. Like, you go back and watch that now, and I'm just like, oh man, I always like this because, you know, it's fucked up and like people buried with their tongues ripped out and blah blah blah, and the pig mask and this. But I didn't get the soap opera weird ass condensed like hillbilly Dallas story that was going on in Motel Hell. And this is right when the slasher genre is taking off. They're already commenting on this weird like bubble that is like they're thinking is going to pop. Again, a rewatch of that is I think
Miss Ballbricker, right?
yeah. Slumber Party Massacre is another one that I think is way funnier and satirical than it gets really credit for.
Basket Case too.
Yes, Basket
Not,
Case, phenomenal.
not the second one. Basket Case 2. I meant like TOO.
Well, all right. Well, appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Get back on sometime.
Yeah, whenever your next movie comes out, well, definitely, or just for an episode, because we also
even before
we also do an Everything Gets Berated show where we talk about everything we don't normally talk about indie horror, but we do some more discussion.
Yeah, and joke around.
Well, that
I
works.
got you guys on my
before.
podcast. I have a podcast as well.
Yeah, we'd love
Hell
to.
yeah!
Man.
What's your podcast?
It's called Primal Scream with Nick Graystone.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
What?
Where is this going to be? Is this going to be like you guys edit it and put it on like YouTube, or is it on?
Yeah, it'll
like,
go
a live
to YouTube and audio everywhere else.
Okay. Cool. All right, so I'll find it off of there, and I'll hit you guys up, and I'll send you my shit too.
Awesome.
All right, sounds good, man.
Thank you.
Hands across Tromerica.
Hell yeah.
Butterflies.
All right.
Thank you
We'll
guys.
go ahead.
Thanks, and
Guys.
good night.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Between rated, B-rated, the podcasting station, unveiling truth, sparking conversation.